Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to today's session. I'm Stephen Anthony, a medical doctor and psychiatrist, and today our session is going to be on comprehensive goal setting. I see that people are slowly joining in, and for those of you who are joining in for the first time, welcome, and for those of you who are returning, a very warm welcome again. I'll start sharing my screen. I think we have a bit of an agenda today, so we need to get through it without wasting too much time. How does this session work? Well, you can ask questions at any point in time. You can people usually like to type it in the chat group here. I really enjoy interacting with you guys, and whenever you feel the need to ask a question, or if you would like to clarify something, then please make sure that you type it in the chat here. So I hope you can see my screen. Just give me a yes or a thumbs up if you can, or somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So goal setting, why is it important? How do we do it? And what are some of the things that work? Yeah, I've been goal setting for about 17 to 20 years, and I have studied under different people who follow different types of approaches to goal setting. And one of the things that everybody says is that it really changes your life over a period of time. If you were to think of a moment in life about 5 years, 10 years ago, and imagine where you are today, and think about where you are now and where you would like to go 5 to 10 years from now, all these are what we call passages in time. Now, passages in time can be manipulated. This works on the law of attraction. You might have heard about the law of attraction, which became very famous, but it always existed. And what it basically says is that the universe really doesn't care about what you want. Whatever you want, it's going to start manifesting in one way or the other. So you will see that patterns keep repeating. Realities may keep repeating if you keep reinforcing them. A person who says, well, I'm never going to find a right partner, I'm never going to find a right partner, keeps on programming themselves and tunes into that frequency, which will make sure that they will never find a partner because the universe hears that, well, this person probably doesn't want to find a partner. That's why they keep saying that always. And that's really the principle. If you understand that principle of manifesting, then you can begin to manifest consistently in your life. You will begin to attract what you really want in your life. Remember, life is limited. Our time in life is limited. We don't have time to entertain anything and everything. But you can create a life of your dreams, a life that you deserve by knowing what you want and constantly thinking about it. Okay, so let me ask you this question. How are you feeling today? Here is a, scale of cat. And one of the things we started doing was asking people, how do you identify yourself with? I mean, what mood are you in today? Is it one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine? Just type a number in the chat section. It doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong answer here. It's just for fun. Yeah, it's just for fun. Um, Iris says four. Ex Sleepy. All right. Um, Bele says three. Okay, so Bele is alert today. Doreen says two. Oh, Doreen is watching intently. Dawn says nine. And so number nine is I think it's a cat playing with a light, if you notice. It's kind of looking at a certain light. So probably you're distracted. I don't know. Um, Dawn says nine. Nicholas says five. It's that kind of a weather, right? So that's what's been happening around Asia Pacific. I think it's been raining, at least in Singapore here, where I live. It's been kind of gloomy. It's been raining. It's a welcome respite from heat, I would say sometimes. Um, but otherwise, I think, yeah, so far so good. Okay, so let's move on with it. So, who am I? A little bit about me. Some of you will know that I'm a medical doctor. I was practicing here in Singapore earlier, and then I went into the private sector. I did my post-graduation in psychiatry, and I'm trained as a certified life coach. Just give me a moment. I need to just kind of lock my door. Just give me a moment. Yeah, somebody's knocking on it. Okay, so I'm back. So I did my post-graduation in psychiatry and trained as a on the side as a life coach, as a hypnotherapist. Was mentored by Eric Greenleaf in San Francisco, and he was really an enigmatic person in that when you were in his presence, you could really feel the charisma and that powerful energy that is not only calming and soothing, but also gives you a bit of grounding. And it also teaches you how to kind of handle different people, how to walk through life, kind of like a guide on your side, a very kind person, Eric Greenleaf. Um, then I also trained in cognitive behavior therapy. That is more of a cerebral type of therapy. It's more of a thinking type of process in therapy. All people say it's as effective as antidepressants. Many times when I work with clients, I usually advise them to start with cognitive behavior therapy if they have any kind of mood issues. Just give me a moment. I'll mute person, mute all. Okay, so right, so there was that bit about cognitive behavior therapy. For those of you who are interested, you can always look it up. Now, should you want to get in touch with me regarding anything, it could be your personal life, it could be your goals, it could be stress you're dealing with, it could be public speaking anxiety, or it could be anything. If you want to get in touch with me, then you can always reach out to me at psychologymd.com. People ask me, is it a free service? No, it's not. Okay, so professionals do get paid by the hour, and that's how we do it. Okay, but this session is free. So what are goals? Why even set goals? And where are we going from there? Yeah, so let's look at what people usually call goals as. For most of you, you might have heard about the SMART goal setting, which is specific, measurable, achievable, time bound, relevant, and so on. So it forms the acronym SMART. It really involves breaking down your aspirations into manageable steps, and well, you take it one step at a time. Why choose goals? Why do you do that? Because it anchors you in life. It anchors you in life. What ends up happening is people confuse pleasure and doing what they like in the moment and how they feel with purpose and meaning in life. That is a very dangerous thing. You see, there is a saying, if you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there, which means if you don't know what you want to achieve in life, and there is no right or wrong thing to achieve in life, but it should be whatever you want to achieve. You know what you're capable of. There is something inside you that wants to be fulfilled. There is something inside you that knows that you're capable of achieving certain things. Now, make sure that you have a plan to identify what those things are, and then a plan to slowly achieve them. And this session is really about that. It's really about discovering that deeper part of you. This is a goal setting workshop that you will not see anywhere. It's not taught anywhere in the world. I have not seen it in any book. Um, and I've gone through probably about 800 books so far. I've never come across, goal setting in such depth. This will really teach you how to understand what truly matters to you as a human being. All I'm going to be asking is a few questions. I'm going to be showing you six main areas of life, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions in each of these areas. If you have a pen and paper, please make sure that it's handy. Yeah, if you don't have a pen and paper, make sure that you get it right now. Sometimes these sessions can be excellent working sessions. Yeah, this is not a chit chat session. It's more of a working session. But it will make a difference. Yeah? Uh, when you have goals, you feel motivated, you feel inspired about life. There is a system in your brain which is known as the reticular activating system, RAS. And what it does is it's kind of like a goal-seeking mechanism. It keeps your mind occupied, and when you reach that goal, it liberates energy. It gives you that kick of dopamine. You feel good in that moment. And it's really about identifying what are those clear goals you want to set, breaking it down into milestones, and slowly achieving it. And that will help you feel good, purposeful, and meaningful inside. It, of course, enhances performance. Like, all athletes they work towards a goal. They want to break a certain time when they are, let's say it's a 100-meter sprint. Nobody goes to the Olympics thinking that, okay, I just want to be first. Almost everybody is thinking about a record. They're thinking about what is it that I want to achieve. And the more clear you are about what it is that you want to achieve, the more or better you're going to perform. Now, you may say, well, it all looks stressful. Why even do this? Why set goals? Why can't we just wander through life, just watch TV 6 hours a day, eat ice cream, spend all the money, borrow as much as possible, and well, I think you know the answer. Yes, there is stress when you set goals and when you push yourself to achieve it. Yes, there is stress. I will not deny it. But that is a form of stress known as eustress. EU stress. Eustress. So there are two forms of stress you need to understand and be very clear about this. And you can explain it to people when they ask you, why are you setting goals? What's the matter with you? Why can't you be like regular people who don't set goals? Well, you can explain it to them this way. There are two forms of stress. One is eustress, the second form is distress. Eustress is when you give yourself a goal and when you stretch yourself and you put yourself through a little bit of stress and you expand yourself. That creates this form of stress known as eustress. The second form of stress is distress, which is, well, DIS, stress. Yeah, distress. That is when you land up in a stressful situation because you were never preparing for it. And life has mysterious ways. Life has mysterious ways. It tends to present complicated situations at the most, you know, inconvenient times, sometimes. And what I have seen through in life is that most people that are successful through life, it's not that they don't have challenges. Difficulties are not privileges reserved for the poor. Difficulties exist for everybody. It's just that people who have goals, who've been successful, who've been anticipating a few things, they can get through all these difficult situations much, much quicker. And you grow in the process. And of course, you build confidence. If you're a person who came from nothing, many of you will identify with this, and I often meet many clients sometimes who have come from almost nothing. Yeah, they didn't grow up in a wealthy family with connections. They kind of rose up through their hard work. You will know what I'm talking about when I say competence builds confidence. When you look at yourself, how you are performing, the things that you're achieving, that itself increases your self-esteem. It improves your self-image, and thereby it builds self-confidence. And you get better at decision making as well when you have clear goals. Excellent. Will you will you be sharing the recording with us? Asks Iris. So we can rewatch. Yeah, sure, sure. We will be sharing the recording, but the worksheet or the blueprint that we discuss in this live session is going to be shared via the chat section here, yeah, only to the attendees. It will not be, the blueprint will not be shared. So make sure that you are there until the end so that you can download it, save it to your computer. And when you have time, all the questions are there. You just need to allot kind of some dedicated time, and you can go through it, and that will really help you. Not just today, but throughout your life. Yeah. Um, There are a lot of studies that have come out on goals. I will not go into it too much, but you can see on your screen, there are studies which talk about the brain's reward system and how people who have goals and constantly keep achieving them end up more happier. There is Locke and Latham in 2002. They talked about how these people experience less amounts of stress and they have increased levels of satisfaction. And there is also the boost in self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is basically saying that you have the confidence that you can handle no matter what life throws your way. No matter what life brings your way, you always feel confident that you can overcome that. And that kind of confidence, you cannot just get by, thinking through it. It's a matter of experience. It's a kind of a learned memory that facilitates that kind of confidence. Some of the key fundamentals to consider before we go into this live session is fundamental number one: being rich is more than just having plenty of money. Success is more than just being rich. I know a lot of people who are very rich, but who are very miserable. Yes, that is true. So when we talk about success, when we talk about goals here, we are going to go broader, not just money and riches. Yes, they are important. We will go beyond that. Yeah. Fundamental number two: it is possible to create realities that don't exist and appear seemingly impossible. I have heard so many stories of people that have gone on to achieve remarkable things, things that people would have never imagined they would achieve. That is because within every person, there is this potential to create abundance. What do I mean by that? This ties in a little bit into quantum physics and, a little bit of spirituality as well. When you take any object and you break it down, you will know that first you will reach the thing called molecules, and then we thought the smallest particle was an atom. You break the molecule down, then you go down to the basic atom. That's what we thought. And then they said, well, the atom is actually not the smallest particle in the universe. And then they broke down the atom. And then they said, well, there is even smaller particles called electrons, neutrons, protons, and so on. And then people say, well, there is even smaller particles. Well, that's a matter of speculation. But here's the interesting thing. When you take up an atom and when you look at these particles, electrons, neutrons, and protons, the electron, the size of an electron, imagine that's as much like like a car. Okay, if you say the electron is as big as a car, the size of the atom is as big as a country. The remaining space, other than the electron, is just empty space inside the atom. So then people said, quantum physicists said, what is it then made of? What is all of this then made of if it's just empty space? Well, what they said was it's made of energy. Energy. Energy is what binds atoms together. When you feel, let me give you an example. Yeah. When you feel very happy because you achieved something spectacular, you feel it in your body, right? That's because there is this, well, we say there is this positive energy that came into my body and I felt it. It might be a fusing of a few protons and electrons and neutrons and whatnot to create that molecules of ATP, and therefore you feel energized. But at the end of it, everything is energy. Now, if you want to go really deep into it, one resource that I recommend is Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. There is also an audio book version of it. If you don't have the time to listen to everything, listen to chapters 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, or read chapters 3, 4, and 5. It will give you a very good idea of what I'm talking about. Now, imagine this. What you need to know. Yeah. Imagine this. There is a long line. Okay. There is a long line. This long line is time. Time. All of us experience time linearly. It's like a long piece of thread. It's a long line. Linear. But at every point, at a 90-degree angle, there are different realities. Do you understand that? If you a reality is something that is perpendicular, yeah. So the line is going this way, time is going this way. There is a reality here. There is a reality here. There's a reality here. There's a reality here. Multiple different realities can be invoked at any point in time. This is the whole basis of spirituality, law of attraction, quantum physics. When they say you create your own reality, you create your own destiny, you create your own future. That is what it means. By thinking what you want, you will attract what you want. Yep. So it takes us to fundamental number three, which is you have the ability and the right to manifest abundance. Again, almost every religion alludes to this. Christianity talks about this. They say, ask and it will be given, seek and you shall find, knock and it will be open to you. In Islam, they say, well, we provide for them and for you. Ask for it. Hinduism says, Hinduism has the goddess of Lakshmi, which is an embodiment of wealth. And they often say when you pray to Lakshmi and when you say all these, invoking chants, you kind of attract wealth. Judaism says something similar. Now, that's kind of a little bit of a spiritual background, a little bit of scientific background on why to have goals, how to do it, and so on. Now, we will, these are some of the studies that you can go through, studies that they have done on goal setting. Okay. John says, Sir, quantum mechanics works at atomic level. No science to say it works beyond it, despite what the beef. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not an expert on quantum mechanics, as I mentioned. I'm more of a physician. But I don't want to again go into the mechanics of arguments of, well, is there a Higgs boson? Is there a Schrodinger particle? Is there what is true, what is not? I don't know. Okay. But what we do know is that you do attract the energy, the type of energy you envision, you attract that into your life. Remember that. That's the core principle. We are not really bothered about principles of physics. That is just more of an entertainment piece, something that you discuss over a drink. But what is more important? It's not the physics. What is not important is not the spirituality, and it's not important which religion or which type of belief background you come from. What's more important is that you take a clear approach towards your life where you follow a clean blueprint and you achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah. So let's look at what we were talking about when I talked about the blueprint. Okay, here's the blueprint. The 6 areas of life. Okay, now whenever I worked with people, one of the things that I found with people is their challenges or their dreams and aspirations usually come down to six main areas of life. And this is a holistic approach to goal setting. So, what are these six areas of life? Health and fitness is number one. So, we talked about this, right? We said being rich or being successful is not just about having a lot of money. Money is easy. Money is easy. Once you know how to make money, you will know making money is super easy. That's one of the least difficult things. There are more complex things that we haven't figured out answers to. Health is one of the big ones. Yeah. You can have a lot of money, but if you don't have health, you're toast. Yeah. If it's a little bit like hunger. People say when you are hungry, all you can think about is hunger. That's it. When your hunger is fulfilled, you don't think about it anymore. Health is similar. When you don't have health, all you think about is getting back to health. Most of the science says that the earlier you intervene through lifestyle measures, through building a healthy lifestyle, um, through having a clean diet, to having good antioxidants, to having a clear workout regimen, to pumping, more nutrients into your body. When you create that type of a lifestyle, it not only prolongs your lifespan, it also enhances your quality of life. Yeah? So, health and fitness is one of the big areas. Second one is mental health. You will know that the society is becoming more and more aware of the fact that mental health is probably one of the big ones that we need to win at. Unfortunately, we haven't made many strides in medicine when it comes to mental health. We have a few, a bunch of antidepressants which you need to cycle through whenever you're treating a patient. And not every antidepressant works the same way on every patient. So we haven't really made a huge progress in mental health. But what we have done is understand how beliefs work, how psychology works, more or less. Yeah. There is that second part, mental health. Then there is the third part, which is career and financial independence. So that is the money part that we talked about. The fourth one is relationships and family. Fifth one is reward and recreation. Life is not all about working, 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 and then you die, right? It's not, it's not that. You need to have your fun. You need to have your fun. So how can you create a reward and recreation plan for yourself so that you can really reap the rewards of your labor? And finally, contribution and legacy. Now, what I'm going to do is walk through each of these areas of life. And you can use the video as a guide as well. And I'll be sharing with you this worksheet. And I'm going to ask you some of these questions. Use the video as a guide, use the worksheet as a guide. And the way it works is each of the six areas are to be worked upon through one day. I mean, for example, you will work on area one on day one, area two on day two, area three on day three, 6 days, six areas of life. And on the seventh day, we are going to create what is known as a vision board. So this is usually a week's work. Yeah, it's not something that you do at one stretch. The brain doesn't have enough juice to come up with all these ideas and clear goals in all these areas of life in just one sitting. This is one of the reasons why people fail at goal setting. They run out of juice in their brain. When you reach, area two, area three, if you try to compress everything in one day, it's not going to happen. The quality is going to be very poor. Yeah. So take a week, dedicate a week, depending on where you are in life. If you are a person who's very ambitious, who's very hungry, you feel like you can really rev up the speed and you can get really going in life. You really want to achieve a lot and you feel that you want to be living your life on purpose. If you're this kind of a person, then you can set aside a week every quarter to revise your goals, to look at your goals, to see how you're doing, and so on and so forth. If not, at least once a year, have one week where you schedule about 1 hour every day 1 week where you schedule about 1 hour every day. It may be during your, Christmas vacations. It could be during your holidays. It could be just any time when you feel like you need more clarity. Spend 1 hour every day on each of these areas, and you will have a very clear idea of what you want to do with your life. Yeah. Okay, so let's start on section one. Can we start after the session? Nara asks, can we start off this after this session or on a fresh day? Well, because it depends where you are today. Yeah, if you feel like you are really ready to do this, if you are one of these people that says, I'm ready to go, I just want to just give me the stuff. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run with the ball. Then, okay, you immediately after the session, you can just get started. You can use this, worksheet and you can do it. There are some people who actually take the entire thing and they finish it in 1 3 hour setting. That's it. There are, I see this especially in high performers who are very, I see this more in people who are in their mid 20s to early 30s. These are the people who know that they are at the beginning stage of life, and depending on how they adjust their life, they can do very well. And these are the ones that go very far in life. So if you are one of these people, then yeah, there is nothing stopping you. But for one of the slower ones, like us, yeah, me, I'm in my 40s. For us, it's more of a relaxed approach because we've kind of uh, achieved what we wanted to achieve more or less in life. And now it's really about fine tuning and finishing the whole picture. Yeah, we've done the whole broad strokes. The picture is ready. Now it's really about embellishing it. So if you're in that kind of a stage, yes, then take it slow. Take it one day at a time. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you do everything at once or you do everything slowly. What's more important is that you do it. Somebody once said, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. What's more important is that you do it. Otherwise, time is going to fly. So, section one, health and fitness. So, here are some of the questions to ask yourself. Remember, we are going for a list of 100 goals, and I will tell you how to condense the goals. Eventually, we'll come down to 10 to 20 goals overall. Okay. But first, you want to brainstorm, come up with as many goals as you can. Yeah, this is how you get started. So, here are some questions for you. How would you describe your overall health right now? Because this video will be a recording, I'll just be going through the list of questions. When you get the video, please pause through each question and continue as and when. Yeah. Question number two, what's one habit you know is negatively impacting your health? Question number three, what does a healthy and balanced body shape mean to you? Number four, what motivates you from the heart to pursue fitness, or if you're into muscle building, beyond just appearance or external expectations? What is another reward for it? It could be stress relief, it could be mental clarity, it could be because you want to improve your stamina, it could be anything. What motivates you? Number five, what type of movement or exercise brings you joy, and how can you invite more of it into your life? Next question. What small, realistic fitness milestones would make you proud and remind you of your inner resilience? What would make you proud? You look at it 3 months down the lane and you say, I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud of what I've achieved with my fitness. What's some of these small milestones? In what ways can you connect your workouts to something you enjoy or is meaningful? Maybe you enjoy training with your partner. Maybe you enjoy moving in nature. Maybe you like going for a walk and talking with your partner. Maybe you like listening to favorite music. Maybe you like watching a movie like me. I like to watch movies and I like to watch shows when I'm working out. I usually use an elliptical and I really enjoy watching a movie while I'm doing it. Keeps me, occupied. Whatever works for you and makes it less boring. Yeah. What routine or ritual could help you look forward to exercise, making it a source of motivation rather than obligation? I know some people who like to buy new sportswear, like to buy new sports clothing, and they say that that's what motivates them and to go work out. Next one. When do you feel best physically, mentally, and emotionally? And this is meant for the type of exercise you want to choose. Yeah, just a clarification there. Are there specific health markers that you're looking for that will give you a measurement? For example, um, what are you trying to measure? Are you trying to measure weight? One of the things that I was very much interested in was in the Adonis uh, workout shape. For men, the Adonis principle, there is a certain specific ratio of muscles um, to waist width and to your shoulders and so on. There is that V shape and there is that Adonis ratio. So you can measure that. It could be as simple as losing weight. I want to lose 5 kgs over 3 months. Very simple. It could be a thing of bringing down cholesterol, bringing down blood pressure, bringing down stress levels, improving your sleep quality, any number of measurable things. Next question. What nutritious food choices make you feel both cared for and energized? And how can you make them a regular part of your life? Okay, so these are some questions to kind of stimulate your thinking. So here are some sample goals. You may aim to include 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise every week. You may want to increase your strength and flexibility. How would you measure it? What do you want to do? You may want to go through regular checkups and look at it almost as a goal to improve your blood work. You may want to quit harmful habits. You may want to manage your weight. You may want to do healthy eating. So, eating and diet is really a function of how much motivation you have. For example, let's say you are a Hollywood actor, and Hollywood actors train all the time. You can look at it on YouTube. Yeah. And their motivation is very high because they are getting paid in the millions to do a body transformation. So they will go through extreme lengths. If you look at Christian Bale, the amount of transformations he's done is mind-boggling. There was a period when he was almost wasted and he became so lean because he had to do this shot where he's trying to put on his pants and his pants fall down. Yeah, because he's so emaciated. And he actually went through that body transformation. And within months, he had to do a body transformation to become Batman, to play the role of Batman. And he did that. Yeah. So their motivation is crazy high because it's literally they're getting paid millions to do it. They got all the people necessary, all the nutrition in the world, they got their own chefs and so on. But for regular people, it may be very difficult. So you want to look at what is realistically possible. And a good ratio is to have 80 to 90% of healthy eating and 10 to 20% of, unhealthy foods and processed foods whenever you cannot control yourself. Yeah. So that is still a healthy quotient, but you want to at least go for 80% healthy meals. Yeah. It could be daily steps you're counting. It could be a fitness event you want to train for. It could be that you want to learn a new sport or an activity. Accordingly, you can create your goals. Next, we go to section 2, mental health, your mental health. Now, what I've noticed during my work with people is that mental health is really related to these 5 areas. It comes down to these 5 areas. If you want to fix or fine tune your happiness or the happiness of people around you, look at these 5 main areas. Number one, stress management and relaxation. Number two, sleep and recovery routines. Number three, constant improvement of self-image. Self-image is your self-concept, the beliefs about who you are and what you are, and the things that you carry in your mind. If you say, I'm fantastic, I'm fantastic, I'm fantastic, you will feel fantastic. If you say that, well, I came from this kind of a family, my childhood was like this, and it really never worked out. This person wronged me then, and then I was betrayed by this person. Your mood is going to be predictably very poor because your self-image is that of a victim. Yeah. Think about self-image that empowers you. A self-image that empowers you. What is that? Handling anxiety and worry. As you know, as we go through life, I think it was James Newman who said, life is irritable. The very fact that we live and we have to go through life, it makes life irritable. So there is that anxiety, worry that we deal with, and that is normal. That is normal in life. But how do you handle it? And do you have a plan for it? That's a big one. And the fifth part is experiencing love in life. Experiencing love in life. Uh, when you come to this, it gets very philosophical. Yeah, people say if you have love in life, it almost makes anything, any difficulty, any challenge in life plausible. I mean, you can get through any kind of challenge in life if you just have love in your life. Sometimes people will go through extreme challenges, put themselves through unbelievable difficulties for a loved one. You will see this very readily in, a child and a parent. But you will see this readily in so many love stories as well. That's because love itself makes life livable. So experiencing love in life, that's a big part of life. So those are the five areas of mental health we want to look at. Okay. Stimulating questions on mental health. How would you describe your current levels of happiness on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you describe your current mental health in one word or phrase? Next question. What tends to hold you back from prioritizing your mental health? Next question. How often do you feel bored, anxious, or restless every week? Next question. How can you use boredom, anxiety, or restlessness as a signal to slow down and reconnect with your inner feelings and thoughts? What helps you feel most connected to your true self or something greater? What's one belief about yourself that you'd like to change to improve your mindset? What motivates you to maintain your personal development? Personal development and mental health are intricately linked, they are intertwined. Personal development encompasses a wide number of things. Yeah, personal development, covers almost every area of mental health, whether it is confidence, whether it is handling growth, or whether it's being healthy, or whether it's to stop worrying. All these areas come under personal development. And one of the things you want to aim for is continuous growth. You want to constantly keep developing one aspect of your mind. And those are some of the areas that we talked about. Yeah. Next question. How will you know when your mental health has improved? How can you track it? Will it be because you don't feel anxiety anymore? Is it because your focus is much, much better? You feel happier? Next question. What skill or subject is calling to you right now? As you think about all of these aspects that we were talking about, and when you think about the stress in your life, what one skill or subject is calling to you right now where you think if you improve in that area, it will make a measurable difference to your mental health? Next question. How can you challenge yourself to grow in a way that excites you rather than intimidates you? Next question. In what ways can you blend fun with personal development this year? How can you track your mental health journey? There are many mood tracking apps for this as well. Next question. How can you balance productivity with rest and self-care throughout your day? How do you want to feel at the end of each day, and what routines support that feeling? So, these are some questions that you may want to ponder upon. Let's see if there are any questions or comments in the chat. John says, no, sir, it's not about victim. It can be trauma based. Even the trauma we have external and internal affected emotions. Victim is external based mostly. John, I don't know what is the point you're trying to make here. You might want to write a book and form your own group. Yeah. Please post positive comments. Thank you. And next one. What are some of the mental health and personal development avenues that you can look at? One of the things you want to look at is, uh, there was this book I constantly talk about, which is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. And she went and gave this seminar in New York, and a lot of people attended it, and it became a huge movement. Yeah. And one of the things she said was, our brain needs constant growth. We need to keep forming these new connections on a constant basis. Whenever that slows down, the momentum of growth slows down, stagnation occurs. And that very feeling of stagnation can give rise to negative feelings because people start rotting, because people think they know everything. There is nothing else to be learned. Everything they say is right. That is a very dangerous place to be in. Yeah. So think about what is continuous growth. Always aim for this. And one of the things she says is she doesn't know of anyone of all the experts that she's worked with, she doesn't know of anyone who stayed consistently positive without continuously growing themselves. So continuous growth almost happens in tandem, parallel to your well-being. So what is continuous growth for you? And as you are on this path and as you are on this journey where you are today, where do you need to grow? The power of mastermind. That is an important one. Nara says, sir, please create a mastermind group and guide us just like today. Nara, there is a Telegram group we have, which is a mastermind group where we post our videos. Yeah, this is a group like this, and we regularly post there whenever we have a session. Yeah, so make sure that you are joining that Telegram group. Yeah, so that is a mastermind group of sorts, and we'll see how to grow it. Yeah. Um, okay, I just joined. Will do. Thanks. Okay, great, Nara. Excellent. So the power of mastermind. When an atom vibrates next to an atom, it imparts energy. Similarly, the power of a mastermind is seen when you surround yourself with positive, uplifting influences. Let me give you an example. A child that grows up, let's imagine a child, okay? And the child is in an environment where one of the parents is very negative all the time. They cannot see anything positive. Yeah. What do you think the child will feel? The child will not feel very happy because that energy is being transmuted to the child. And they've done studies on this. They've seen that people who often suffer from depression, they have they increase the risk of their children suffering from depression by 10%. And the risk of the partner or the spouse suffering from depression goes up to 30 or 50%. So that is almost the power of the mastermind. Now, does it mean that if there is a person in your family who's suffering from depression, that you should leave them and run? Not really. You can help them as much as possible, but make sure there are also positive, uplifting influences in your life. Maintaining a habit of surrounding yourself with these positive influences will keep your energy, your brain vibrating at a very high level. Yeah, it increases your energy, what we call the law of attraction, or like frequency attracts like. One of the things they said was, even if you are listening to it, or even if you're watching a video, that also counts as mastermind. Yeah. So listening to an audiobook, one of the things I like to listen to is Audible. There was a point in time when I was driving and I used to listen to audiobooks almost every time I was driving, and I went through so many audiobooks like that. If you're doing chores, you can listen to something, you can have some positive podcast playing in the background. This can significantly boost your personal image and your personal well-being. Now, some of the resources that I like to recommend, again, you might say, well, what should I listen to? Give me some names. Yeah, here are some names. Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. I alluded to this earlier. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Psychology of Achievement by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy actually went through a lot of research on people who were high performers, and he came up with this series of seminars, and then he condensed that whole thing into an audiobook. And that was released as The Psychology of Achievement, which became one of the biggest bestsellers of all time. So listen to it when you get a chance. The Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn. That is a rare one. I think you can find it on his website, actually. This was a live seminar that he did back in 1983. Still one of the best live talks ever given, I think. Um, See if you can get your hands on it. Other resources I would recommend is The Stranger's Secret by Earl Nightingale. This was one of the first audio books to go platinum. I think this was back in the 50s or 60s. Um, and he was a radio show host, and and he actually recorded this thing where he talked about goals and the importance of keeping your mind on track. And to everyone's surprise, that became the first talk that went platinum. Yeah. I think it's available on YouTube. That one is available on YouTube. You can listen to it. John says, Feel the Fear is a great book. Jim is magical. Excellent. Thank you, John. Um, so, what creates meaningful engagement for you? Again, these are all kind of things to stimulate your thinking. Yeah, purposeful engagements that connect with your interests and values, making activities intrinsically rewarding. Yeah, so what is deep engagement to you? One of the things that I used to do and that I enjoy doing, I can share it with you, is listening to something nice, listening to an audio book, and doing either some kind of artwork or sketching. I haven't done it in a while, but that was something very enjoyable. Yeah, so combining activities like these, yeah, because you may not be able to just sit in one space and listen to it, or you may want to listen to it when you try to go to sleep. Yeah, that's an excellent time to listen to it. Or you may listen to it upon waking up, just to get your mood and your mind in the right space. Um, just some ideas for you to think about. Okay, let's talk about emotional fulfillment. What are activities that align with your passions and values? What activities help in confidence building? Where is your confidence at now, and where do you think it needs to be, and what will help that journey? Yeah? And what are some mindful activities that can help your um, engagement? Then there is social connection, there is creative expression, and so on and so forth. So here are some sample goals. Yeah, one of the goals could be listen to 3 audiobooks every month. Yeah, so every month you have a subscription to Audible or do whatever. I mean, if you need to listen to it on YouTube, that's fine too. But make sure you have a list of some sort. You curate a list of some sort. Every month you have a goal of finishing a few audiobooks. Um, Another goal can be find 3 positive and uplifting growth oriented podcasts or talk shows that make you feel good. Um, you could be a person that engages in mindfulness, such as meditation, deep breathing, yoga. Or you may want to take up a challenging sport, mentally challenging sport. You may have a goal of improving sleep. You may want to create a strategy that works for you just to help you get through a bad mood, a low mood. What will help you get through a low mood? If you have things that help you get through a low mood, please feel free to share it in the chat section. I think it will help everybody. Yeah? Your ideas can help anyone. What do you do when you're in a low mood? What helps as a pickup? Yeah, what helps you pick up your mood and what keeps you positive, what gets you back into your groove. Let's see what people are saying. John says different types of music. I guess experimentation. Very good. Yeah, so I think music is one of those things. I think Schopenhauer said music is the only thing that is divine and cannot be explained. Yeah, where music comes from, where the inspiration for music comes from, and why it motivates us in a certain way um, is a little bit illogical. But again, that's music for you. Yeah. What do you do to elevate your mood? John again says, sit in the sun. Sit in the sun. It's a source of all energy. Okay, John. Um, who else? Nara says, I watch selected YouTube clips. Very nice. Carmen Fung says, play music and just dance freely. I should tell you though, you're a very courageous person, Carmen, because I remember once when I was a kid, I was passing by one of the homes where we lived, and we lived in this area where there used to be villas. And I used to pass by one window every day. And I used to see this guy who used to play music, and he was in his own world, and he was just grooving and he was just dancing by himself. And I used to often think, this guy really gets it. He knows how to have a good time. So, Carmen, well done. Yeah, do continue. Play music and just dance freely. Okay, section number three. We'll pick up the pace a little bit because we need to get through this area. Yeah, and for those of you who are going to watch the video later, I will just show this on the screen to you, and you can pause it and go through it as well. Yeah. Um, we are talking about finance in this section, career and financial independence, a very big one. Yeah. So, what is a financial milestone that would make you feel secure, and why does it matter to your well-being? Number two, what is your target monthly or annual income? And by when do you want to achieve it? Yeah. Do you have specific goals for money, like buying a house, car, investing in equities, or funding education, and so on? What skills or knowledge do you need to grow your earning potential? There was one very good advice that I received from a person very early on in my career, and he said, if you want to earn 50 or $100 an hour, make sure that you focus your activities either on work that is $100 an hour or learning about activities that will give you $100 an hour. That was very valuable advice. And he said, if anything is less than that, think twice about doing it. If you can, outsource it. Yeah. So small items that can be outsourced. You don't need to do it yourself. If it's just $5 an hour work, you can always give it to a helper or somebody that can come and do the work while you concentrate on building your career. What skills or knowledge do you need to grow your earning potential? What are your short-term and long-term savings goals? Where do you want to be in 1 year? Where do you want to be in 3 years? What is a financial milestone that would make you feel secure, and why does it matter to you? In what ways can you align your spending or saving choices with your deeper values and curb impulsive or emotional spending? What opportunities for promotions or side businesses do you want to explore? A question about peace of mind. How much do you need to manage emergencies? Yeah. Um, Question number nine. What do you have adequate insurance coverage for health, life, property, and liabilities? How will you ensure your financial documents, example, wills, trusts, etc., are in order? Do you have a will? Yeah, I know of a person who accumulated a lot of wealth, suddenly died. No will. Nobody knows where his wealth was parked, but suddenly died. He was never married, never had children. His family thought, "Oh, he was working so hard. What happened to this guy? Where is everything?" Nobody knew. Yeah, so make sure the wills and trusts are there. Many times, when you look at trading platforms for equities, there is a lot of money that's left unclaimed. Banks as well need to declare every year for accounts that are unclaimed. This is because people keep working. They never told anybody where that money is. And when they die, nobody knows where the money is, and therefore it never gets claimed. Yeah, so make sure the wills and trusts are there in place. What is your retirement goal? At what age do you want to retire? And what lifestyle do you envision after your retirement? How much wealth do you need to generate passive income for your desired lifestyle? What mentors, books, or courses will help you grow your financial mindset to attract and manage wealth? Who can you reach out to for inspiring conversations whenever you feel restless about your career? Here are some examples of financial goals, investment goals, luxury and lifestyle goals. Yeah, so you can go through some of these examples and see what you want to have on your list. Next section, relationships and family. This is probably one of the more important ones. Yeah, here are some questions. In what ways can I express more appreciation to those closest to me? Yeah. Uh, what kind of friend, partner, family member do you wish to be? And what action expresses that value? Many people focus on what they get. That is a big mistake. People say, I'm not happy in my life, in my relationships, in my marriage, because the other person doesn't make me happy. The other person doesn't give me what I want. But quite strangely, human beings work in the opposite way. They say that for the other person to be impressed by you, make sure you are impressed by the other person, or they will never admire you. In a similar way, if you want to experience a certain set of feelings, think about what feelings you need to give the other person to begin with to facilitate that environment, yeah, where good feelings start to blossom. What would be a fulfilling time and time balance work? And what that means is, how do you need to balance your time between work, self, and family? When you balance it between these different items, what does that look like for you? Yeah. And how can you move towards it? What would a healthy, fulfilling relationship look like for you? Think about what you need to be to facilitate that type of a relationship. What shared interests or activities would you like to cultivate with your partner? What strategies can you use to deepen emotional intimacy? How do you currently handle conflicts and how can you improve? What patterns or habits in past relationships would you like to change? How do you envision your lives together in 1 years, 5 years, or 10 years? How can you plan an experience that will create lasting, meaningful memories with loved ones? Yeah. And here are some examples of these goals. Quality time, family meals, supporting your children's interests, regular communication, regular visits to relatives, reconnecting with friends, date nights, improving relationship skills, family vacation, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so something to jog your thinking. Section number 5, reward and recognition. This is for yourself. When you're doing so much work, you need to have your share of reward and recreation, right? You need to have fun. All work and no play makes all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's what I learned when I was in school. My teacher used to say that over and over again. Yeah. So, what is fun for you? So, here are some questions. How can you turn moments of boredom into opportunities for creativity and playful exploration? Yeah. Almost everybody goes through boredom. How can you turn it into something creative and playful? What new hobbies or experiences are you genuinely curious about that could bring fresh excitement into your life? What simple practice or ritual can you start that transforms your downtime into joyful or restful breaks? It could be something as simple as playing a small game on your phone when you get a break, and that can just rejuvenate you, and you can go back into work after your break. Your space. What is a fun space for you? If you have a workroom or whether you live in a home or whether you have your own space or whether it's rented, think about what is a fun space for you. How do you want to make it into kind of like a den for yourself? What small changes can you make to make your environment become more interesting and motivational? What kind of playfulness or spontaneity do you wish to invite into your routine? Yeah. So here are some examples of goals you can have in that area. Yeah, travel and adventure. Maybe you want to travel to every continent. Maybe you want to take regular vacations to exotic destinations, learn a new language, join a travel club. One of my um, aspirations is to travel to different countries and places and try out their best food, the best food in every country, and to create a journey as such. I learned through during my early travels after visiting many countries that doing touristy things is not really that satisfactory. Yes, you can admire the architecture in some places. Yes, you can go to Florence and admire the beauty of David, that beautiful statue that Leonardo da Vinci, well, Michelangelo created, right? Um, yes, there is that. But then there are other fun ways to do travel and adventure. Yeah. Creative pursuits. Do you want to write a book? Do you want to play a musical instrument? Do you want to start a collection? Do you want to learn to cook? Do you want to take up photography? Do you want to start a podcast? Luxury and leisure. Do you want to have your own fashion jewelry collection for yourself? Do you want to join a prestigious club? Do you want to attend a high profile fashion event? I know one friend of mine who wanted to attend um, very high end fashion shows. That somehow made him feel, um, you know, very hip. Yeah. Um, Nara says, can we learn to pilot or sailboat or plane in SG? It sounds an interesting. If you go to if you go to what do you call the place near Fullerton? Um, if you go to the Customs House, which is near the Fullerton by Bay Hotel, there is a DBS sailing area. They do free sailing lessons every weekend. You need to book a slot and you can actually get on one of those beautiful sail ships and they go around. Yeah, that's a free service. Something you can check out. Yeah. Um, Plane is a bit difficult. Yeah, I know people who are learning to drive a plane, but they go to US to do that, and it's very expensive to get a pilot's license. Yeah. Again, you might be a millionaire or a multimillionaire, so yeah, check it out. Strategic games and skills. Learn to play a strategic board game like chess or Go. Um, Learn to play a strategic card game. Learn magic. Yeah, that's one of the fun things. Um, Section number 6, contribution and legacy. Yeah, so this can be direct or indirect service. Yeah, direct service can be like volunteering for a charitable cause. You can mentor somebody after you become successful. You can mentor people to become successful. You can just give it away. Educational support. You could establish a scholarship fund. If you're one of those people that hits it in the tens of hundreds of millions, then yeah, by all means, establish a fund, sponsor a child's education, support organizations. Um, you could look at financial contributions to a charity of your cause. You can help a small business and you can mentor startups. You can sponsor a community project. You can sponsor animal welfare if you're into animals. There are environmental and scientific, pursuits as well. And then there is institutional impacts where if you're working for a company, you want to do good to the world as a whole. Yeah, so looking at it from that perspective as well. So, and then there is, the legacy that you want to leave behind. What is it that you want to leave behind for people? That's an interesting question to ponder upon. Okay, so those are the 6 areas of life. So what you need to do now is as you go through it, you will keep on brainstorming using these questions and go for as many as possible. Imagine there is no limit or restriction. Don't think about what others are going to say. What others, sometimes people ask me this question, should I be really thinking about what my parents will say or whether some people will approve or not? At this point in time, no, you're not looking for that. At this point in time, all you want to do is brainstorm and get all the ideas out on paper, everything your heart wants. It needs to be here. Yeah, everything your heart wants at this point in time. Go for as many as possible. Yeah. The more, the merrier. It's your life. Yeah. Um, Now, after you get that, what you need to do is prioritize them. Put the letter A next to high priority and put the letter B next to low priority. And sometimes you can also use use the letter C for low priority. Yeah, so A is need to have this in my life. B is kind of medium priority. C is like I really couldn't care if I didn't achieve that. Now, what you need to do next is take all the A's and write one, two, or three next to them. Yeah, so A1 is all the best of the best. A2 is kind of good to have. A3 is kind of, yeah, it's also important, but that's lower on the list of priorities. So there you have it. All the A1s then become like your super important goals and mission in life. A2 then becomes um, something of higher importance but not your entire mission, and A3 is one of those important things that you want to achieve but you want to keep at the back of your mind. Yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat section. I'm more than happy to help you here. Yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions here. It's very important. Yeah, uh, otherwise I'll take it that you guys are following through what I'm saying. Yeah, it's quite simple. um, Here are some questions to help you prioritize. You may say, well, how do I really prioritize now? I'm really confused. A and B both look good. I really want it. So here are some questions to help you prioritize. Which goals are neither urgent nor important? They go lower on the scale. Which goals feel less relevant to you or less exciting to you compared to when you first wrote it down? Sometimes when you're writing, in that moment, you feel like, wow, I'm really excited by this goal. But when you start prioritizing, you may say, well, you know what? I'm not really finding this all that exciting now. Yeah, so you need to check for that as well. Which goals wouldn't matter if you didn't achieve them? Now, there is a framework known as a heart framework that helps people prioritize. So this helps you, what they say as well, it's also about what your heart wants. Yeah, at this stage, you can say it's about what your heart wants because you got all the logic, you streamline everything on paper. Now you have the privilege of picking and choosing what your heart wants. Yeah, so here is a heart framework. You will see HEART. That is the acronym. Yeah, so does this goal truly resonate with my passions and deepest motivations? Second question, will working towards this goal excite or uplift me, or does it feel draining? Question number three, is this goal true to my values and beliefs? Would achieving it make me proud? Again, your values and beliefs, we went through a separate section on it. We had this session probably about 3 months ago when we learned how to identify values. Yeah, so you should listen to that recording whenever you can if you want to streamline on your values and beliefs once more. Number four, is this a genuine possibility given my current circumstances and resources? Nothing kills goals faster than having an unrealistic expectation. Yeah. So at this point in time, when you're prioritizing, pick ones that are more realistic at this point in time. Yeah. It's good to have the lofty, big goals somewhere, somewhere. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. When I was 25 years old, my goal was to reach 1 million US dollars. Yeah. From scratch, because I was starting from scratch. I had a very simple job back then. I was an intern back then. 1 million dollars in 10 years. Yeah. Now that is a kind of a lofty goal. I didn't come from a rich family. If you think about it, people would say, well, it's a little bit outrageous, for a guy from humble beginnings to aim for that. It was lofty, but I had it at the back of my mind. Yeah. It was not an immediate goal, but I was working towards it. Yeah. So and it was possible eventually. Yeah. So think about lofty goals as a long-term range goals. They did studies on people who are very successful. And one common attribute they found in people that are most successful. Do you know what it is? What do you think it is? What is the one quality that can consistently predict success? What they found was people who think long term, long range, 10 years, 20 years, and they are able to delay immediate gratification, those are the people that will reliably become successful. Yeah, I mean, you can almost predict their success because they are planning very long term. Yeah, so that is one thing. And you can see this even in the stock market. Yeah, people who buy and hold for the long term, they are the ones that eventually make money, not the ones that are trying to time the market. Yeah. Um, Finally, is it time bound? Can I realistically pursue and track these goals within a clear time frame? Now, align your core values and self-image. Think about, would achieving this type of a goal move you closer to who you want to become? Jim Rohn once said, the biggest thing to aim in life is not what you get. The biggest thing to aim in life for is to think about what you become. Who are you becoming in this process? That's something you want to be very mindful about. What is the type of person you need to become to achieve this? What is the skill set? What do you need to have in your mind to achieve this? Yeah. Think about that. Would achieving this move you closer to who you want to become, or will it move you farther away? So these are some questions to help you prioritize. Yeah. So set regular intervals. Again, like I told you, if you are super ambitious, if you're one of those go-getters who says, you know what, I made up my mind. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try this at least for 3 years and I'm going to see. And I'm going to see to it that it works. Yeah. If you are that type of a person, yeah, you could review your goals almost monthly or quarterly. Yeah. So every quarter, maybe you take a week, go through each of these areas, look at your goals, see where you're going, fix what you need to fix. One tip I can give you is constantly keep adjusting. Constantly keep adjusting. If something is not working, try to understand why is it not working. Do you need to kind of scale down the goal a little bit? Do you need to have a smaller goal? Do you need to get assistance? Can somebody help you? Do you need a coach? Do you need somebody standing by your side? Do you need to work with an expert? What do you need to do to get that particular goal moving? Yeah, so this is what you need to do when you review your goals. Okay, so we are reaching the end of the session. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. I will now share the PDF in the chat section. Please make sure that you download it. Yeah. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen just to give me a moment. Yeah, so clarify the goal, break down the goal. One of the other things that can help you is to identify resources and obstacles. Yeah, so resources that can help you and what potential obstacles that may arise, um, and how can you overcome them. Yeah, and the final thing is a fun one. This is a vision board. People create vision boards and they keep it in a place where they can see it. What you need, the supplies are basically, a board, either a foam board or a cork board, scissors, glue, tape, magazines, and images, and so on. Next, what you do is you collect out pictures from magazines, or you can print them from online sources, um, including photos that evoke a positive emotion. Yeah, and you want to write or write phrases or words there, and you can just post it. Um, on a board where you can see it. Yeah. So that is the vision board for you. Now,